Everyone, and I'm sorry, I think that's right. Good morning, everyone, and thank you very much, Sandra, for organizing the meeting today. And a big thank you to Monica Charles Williams and Greg Olcott, who are taking time out of their schedules today to join us to share with us some information that will be helpful as parents of sophomores that we can all probably use, and then to answer any questions we have. So first we have Ms. Monica Charles Williams, who is the assistant principal or one of the assistant principals at the high school, as well as the class administrator for the sophomore class, and the supervisor for ESOL, health, PE, and math, and Mr. Greg, who's also one of our wonderful counselors, and he is counselors for students in grades 9 and 10, with I guess the H through K last name. So thank you to both of them, and I will let you both get started.
Okay, so welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to cover a lot of different topics that we feel are necessary for your rising juniors. I'm just very excited. I always tell you about the class of 2024 and me being the class administrator because they started during a tough time when everything was virtual, and they are in our building for the first time. A lot of them are in their building for the first time. So it's like they're freshmen, right? Learning the building, getting used to being back in the classroom. And so it's just been, though, a very smooth transition, and I'm very proud of them. So a couple of things that we are going to discuss what's coming up. So we have Greg, which Mr. Olcott, I'm so happy because he has so much experience with all levels of our students. And he's going to talk about, the academic advising. I know that's a big deal right now, and it's currently happening. Our sophomore career talks coming up on March 15th. Make Leadership, which is a phenomenal program that hopefully our sophomores will sign up for. And then I will come back and discuss a little bit about the Hidden in Plain Sight that's coming up on March 1st. Go ahead, Greg.
Awesome. Good morning. Thanks for coming, y'all. As Ms. Charles Williams just mentioned, academic advising, we started that a few weeks ago, and we start with the sophomores or rising juniors. So we are in the process of wrapping up academic advising with our current sophomores, talking about classes for next year. A lot of students have questions about colleges already. So this is a great time that we are able to meet individually with every single one of our students. Prior to this meeting, I just met with 3 students individually in here, got them all registered for classes for next year. A couple cool things about 11th grade courses that are a first for many students. So 11th grade, for the most part, is the first time students don't have to take PE. So that frees up a spot that they can take an elective. And also 11th grade is the first time, for the most part, that students are able to take an AP English class and our AP Science electives. So they've got lots of algorithms and lots of ideas and lots of plans that they think they know. And I talk to my buddy, I talk to my friend, oh, I know this, I know that. So we help them work through that and unpack some of the things that they might have heard their friends talk about. They talk a lot. So it's good to kind of unscramble some of their confusion about some of these classes that are available now that they will be in 11th grade. So that's academic advising in a nutshell. It really ramps up next year. When students are juniors, I'll talk a little bit about career talks in a second, but when students are juniors, we really push the gas a little bit harder in terms of getting them prepped for the college application process. We also invite parents to come in at more regular frequencies to participate in what we call Parent U. In Parent U, we talk about everything from making college lists, financial aid, searching for colleges, planning summers. And so you all, your parents of sophomores now, there will be more programming specific to you all next year as well, whether it's college planning night, We just have a lot of awesome things coming up for junior year. Just kind of ramps up a little bit more. But back to Career Talks. Career Talks is hands down one of my favorite programs that McLean has, and it coincides with our sophomore unit. So we essentially have programming for every grade level. Freshman is like, welcome to McLean, here you go, these are some strategies and tips. That's where we pair them up with their Big Mac. It's really welcoming them and helping them transition into McLean as a student. Sophomore programming from Student Services is a lot about identifying interests and strengths, and then working with those to figure out what career clusters might interest them. It seems like everybody wants to be an engineer, everybody wants to be an attorney, everybody wants to, be a physician. But a lot of times students don't know that they have all these other strengths as well that might help them or might really push them or make them feel better about choices they make when it comes to deciding a major in college, when it comes to deciding what pathways they might want to pursue. So Sophomore Career Talks, again, is paired with our sophomore unit. In the sophomore unit, we do interest inventories, strengths explorers, and again, that's where they're going to get, based on these inventories we give them, the results that they get, they can use those results to determine which careers they would like to go sit in on during Sophomore Career Talks. During Sophomore Career Talks, we shut the school down for the morning for sophomores, and we have a couple dozen local professionals from all different types of fields come in and speak about their career. We've got engineers, we've got physicians, we've got attorneys, we've got small business owners, we've got people who work in military, FBI, all type, DOD, all types of job fields. And for the most part, we cover all of the 16 career clusters within our Sophomore Career Talks. A lot of them overlap, but Sophomore Career Talks is an awesome program that we put on at McLean. That again is kind of part of that sophomore idea of getting students ready and helping them identify their strengths and their interests, so that might push them or pull them into or push them away from some fields or some areas of studies. Obviously, nothing is set in stone or locked for a 15-year-old. One of the things we remind all of our students of is that most students switch majors in college. So it's great that they have these interests now, but it's good to be able to talk to people in the field, because a lot of times our students have this like very rigid idea of what it takes to become X. And it's nice to have these super experienced folks come in and help alleviate some stress, because there really is no one way to become a surgeon, right? People take all types of different paths to become an attorney. So this program really helps students understand, okay, you mean I don't have to take AP Chem and AP Bio and Human Anatomy to be a doctor? No, you don't. These are all these great pathways and different experiences that you can take and that you can have, and you're still going to end up as a thoracic surgeon if that's what you want to do. So it's an awesome, awesome program. I lost the agenda there a little bit. So I just covered academic advising some. I covered, let me go back to academic advising. A lot of your students, the vast majority of your students have completed academic advising. We've locked those on our end, so they can't go and add any more courses. But if they want to change, they certainly can. We like to have this process for the most part completed mid-March, because the county then takes all that data that we put in for the classes, and admin and Ms. Paul Stansberry, they figure out our staffing. And so once the county figures out staffing, it becomes a little bit more difficult to always get the classes you want. So in the summertime, if a student says, oh, I don't want to take AP Human Geography, I want to take AP Computer Science Principles, well, we've already got the staffing figured out for those classes. So it's great if that's a spot that's open, but it might not be because of the teachers we received or the teachers we have for those classes. So that's when wait lists happen. So now is the time, if you do want to make some adjustments, to make those adjustments. So just reach out to your child's counselor and we can do that. The longer you wait, the more likely it is that your student might end up on a wait list. Now, for the most part, our director is really good at getting the vast majority of students off those wait lists before the schedule rolls. But that's just kind of one of the advantages of taking care of this right now versus in July.
Right, and then make leadership, right?
Make leadership, yes. So Make Leadership is a whole school mentoring program. It's been around for 20 years. It kind of started off as a support for students, academic support, but then it kind of morphed into this monster that it is now. And it's the largest program we have in McLean. It's certainly one of the, if not the largest mentoring programs in the county. I was fortunate enough to be asked to help by Jamie Lane prior to her becoming the principal at Oakton. It's just such an awesome program. So prior to this year is wild. This year we've blown up Make Leadership and asked them to do so many things that we've never asked them to do before. But next year we're going to snap it back a little bit. Originally, and what it will become again, is it is a mentoring program for all freshmen and new students, in which all freshmen and new students get paired up with an upper class mentor. Little Macs are the freshmen and new students, and then Big Macs are the mentors. Each Big Mac has a handful of mentees that they work with. Really, for the first half of the school year, they meet regularly with them in what are called connect groups. After that, McLeadership, like right now, we're starting the application process for McLeadership next year. It's a significant application process. Your students will be able to apply to become a Big Mac next year. It's a really competitive process. This year, because like Ms. Charles Williams mentioned earlier, this year, like our current sophomores were kind of like freshmen this year. So we decided to do connect groups with freshmen and sophomores this year. So we doubled the size of the program. Next year, we're going back to the original Make Leadership for freshmen and transfer students. So your students, your current sophomores, I'm going to release the Make Leadership application either today or tomorrow to all sophomores for them to apply. There's a couple components of that application to become a Big Mac. One is a written application. This year we have 178 mentors. It's a huge program. Next year, probably going to be back down to about 100 mentors, maybe 120, depending on the size of the incoming freshman class. But it's going to shrink down. Every year not every year, but the last couple of years, we've had over 300 applicants. Sophomores can apply to become a Big Mac, and so can juniors. So every year, unfortunately, there's a lot of really, really amazing, awesome students who don't get accepted. A couple components of the Make Leadership application. One, there's a blind written application read. So they're all submitted. I pull all the applications off and I remove the names, and then they're numbered. And then they're given to the execs. So the execs are the executive mentors, and they really run the show. So they're given to the execs. They're broken up into groups, and they read each application individually, and we have a rubric, and they're given scores, totally blind. And then the second piece of the Big Mac application is it's an exec interview. So as I mentioned before, right now we're in the process. We just closed the deadline for next year's execs. Once all the Big Mac apps are in about mid-March, all the new execs, all the incoming execs, and all the current execs, the outgoing execs, they all pair up and they interview each and every one of these students. And again, we have a rubric, and they're given a score. And based on the size of the incoming class, a cut score is established and determined. I work closely with Sean Roland and Dr. Riley on this because it's a huge program. So, we do our best to give all students opportunities to make it into this program. We use counselor input, but that's Make Leadership.
Okay.
It's a big program. I'm happy to answer any questions about that. But I just have to, remind you that every year, 100 amazing students or more don't get in. And before the pandemic, we used to print out all the acceptance letters and the not accept letters and then leave them in the main office. And so we'll probably do that again because that's the way we do it. And these kids come and you'll have some kids like jumping through the roof and other kids will cry in the main office. And so I'll get emails from the main office like, oh, what are you doing, Greg? You got kids crying down here. And I'm like starting to get upset right now thinking about that because that's really sad because so many of these kids are so amazing. They're all amazing. It's just.
Yeah, so Greg, you had a question, like where does the application get posted? And
Right,
also,
so.
I don't know if you were reading this, sorry. So also, can you please post the timeline for the McLeadership program?
Sure. So the McLeadership application, I will send out to every junior. Every sophomore and every junior, because sophomores, it's y'all students' first year to apply. All the current juniors will also be either not reapplying, which is fine, reapplying to be a Big Mac, or a certain amount of them will apply to be an executive mentor. And those are the seniors that sort of run the program. Timeline. Like I said, I'm going to try and get this Big Mac app out today. It's on my to-do list today. It will be posted. I'm going to email it to them, all sophomores and juniors, and I'm also going to be posting it on their grade level Schoology page. Probably give them about a month to fill it out. It'll be due, first or second week in March.
Okay. All right, so thank you, Greg, because I love McLeadership. So I'm just glad that you were able to speak about that, and I'm hoping that the sophomores will definitely apply. So the next thing on the agenda was actually Hidden in Plain Sight. So this program is ran by the Fairfax County Police Department, and it will be here at McLean on March 1st. It is really a great program because for parents, specifically for parents, number one, but also if you feel like you're out of the loop, it's very hard raising high school students. And it's age difference. There's the whole, you're working and they have their own language at this point. It's so many different things happening. And so this program is designed for you to be interactive and really understand any signs of risky behavior is what they're classifying the behavior as, but just signs that you should be aware of because there are things that could be happening and you are it's like they say, hidden in plain sight. It's right there in front of your face, but you have no clue. So they really train parents and prepare them for all the different possible signs that you may be missing that students are practicing like unsafe behaviors. So I encourage every parent to go and definitely come out on March 1st.
Can I say a couple things on that?
Yes, definitely.
So kids are smarter than we are, just like we thought we were smarter when we were this age, and we probably were in some of these like sneaky ways more so than our parents, and the same thing for all that stuff. It kind of trickles down every year. Back in the day, it was really hard to hi Kelly, that question flashed at me. If someone could read that to me in a second.
I can read it for you.
One second. So back in the day, it was really hard to hide if you smoked because you came in and you smelled like a trash fire. So like you're not fooling anybody. These days, they've got all this technology and they're slick with it. They're big, they're small, they've got all these hidden compartments. So education is huge. So this program is an awesome one that Dr. Riley's got coming in. So definitely please participate in that. They're smart, they're slick. These kids are slick. Some are not as slick as they think they are, but they're still pretty slick.
Oh, yeah. And then by us working together, right? So we're getting our education on it, and then you are as well. So by us working together, we can help prevent some things from happening. So that's great. So great. I'm going to read this question from Kelly. She says, she came in a little late. It's okay, Kelly. You had mentioned a wonderful program earlier that helps students with choosing classes to prepare for college. Could you tell me what program this is again?
Sure. So that's just what we kind of call academic advising. It's when we meet individually with every single one of our students. We are very blessed and fortunate here in Fairfax County that in terms of caseloads, so we have probably in the country some of the lowest, most, our caseloads are great. So size wise, which allows us to meet individually one-on-one. Other places around the country don't do that. They just have the students submit a form or just like put it online and then that's that. But fortunately here, we're able to meet one-on-one with all students to do academic advising. And some of the sophomores, so rising juniors, do have questions about colleges or planning their path to, where they want to get and what schools they would like to apply to. So that's that. And if we're finishing up with sophomores. Today is our last day that we're formally pulling them through PE. But we can make adjustments. If you have any questions, we're happy to chat.
Okay, and then for the career day, what are the 16 areas that are represented?
Great question. I don't have them memorized off the top of my head. I'll just Google it and put the link in.
Okay, that works. And then what time is the Hidden in Plain Sight program? So, do you know the time? I feel like it's after school, but I just checked our website and it just says March 1st.
I think it's 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock?
Or 7:30. It's something like that.
May I put a plug for the e-news that we publish and for Dr. Riley's newsletter? It's in the e-news. It's coming out today at 12.
Perfect.
So you're going to find it there. And Miss Riley, Dr. Riley has posted that for some weeks now. It was supposed to be in February, but because of no people inside the school, it was changed to March. So just thank you.
Okay, and was there a time there or no? Because I didn't see.
I think it's 7:30 because we have a college planning night for junior parents before that. And our program starts at, I think ours is 5:37, and I think the Hidden in Plain Sight starts right after that.
Okay, makes sense. And I'm sure she's going to send more communication. Dr. Riley will send out, more communication before March 1st. So.
Yeah, it was in the Monday, Dr. Riley's Monday message, I believe, was the last one the information was in. So that link right there that I just posted, that is just, if you scroll down just a little bit, when you go to that link, you'll see the 16 career clusters.
Okay, perfect. All right, so now is Q&A time. So we had some parents who submitted questions ahead of time, and so we're going to answer those. Let me just share my screen. So you'll have the questions, Greg, because they're mostly questions that the counselor would be able to answer. Give me 1 second. Okay. Can everyone see it?
Yep, all good.
Okay, good. All right, trying to.
Cool. All right, so question number 1, can a current sophomore rising junior take an AP class during the summer? What programs would you recommend? So no. Fairfax County doesn't offer AP classes over the summer. I say that because I have to, and I say that because never, ever, ever I would never encourage anyone to take an AP class over the summer for a variety of reasons. I say that because there are schools that Virginia has, it's called the VCP, I'll put it in there too. And again, I'm not encouraging this ever, but it's just information for y'all. VCPE.org it stands for Virginia Council for Private Education. So these are all schools that have been approved and vetted by the VDOE, Virginia Department of Education. So there's a lot of them. Some of these schools might offer class. Oh, I know for a fact they offer classes that Fairfax County doesn't. Some of them might offer AP classes over the summer. A couple things to keep in mind. Again, AP class over the summer is just no bueno for a couple reasons. One, these kids need rest. These last 2 years in education have been just bonkers, wildfire. So they need a break. They need to have fun with their friends. They need to get outside and remember how to ride a bike. They need to go build tree forts. They need to go do stuff that kids do. They don't need to take any class over the summer, especially not an AP class, because no matter how you cut it, so FCPS only offers over the summer one honors class, is geometry honors. So we have students who say, oh, but I want to take algebra 2 honors over the summer so I can skip ahead and be with my friends. We don't have that class, but some of these schools do. And no matter how you cut it, if you take a class over the summer, there's no chance you'll be as prepared for the class had you taken it in school. So algebra 2 honors, for example, if you do well in algebra 2 honors here in the building, you go to pre-calc honors. If you do well at some online school approved by the Department of Education in algebra 2 honors, there's just no way you've gotten the level of rigor given to you that you would if you took the class in school. So every year we have kids do this, and then they jump ahead and they're trying to take that next level up, and they're just woefully underprepared. Also, even if they take, for example, I'm just going to say algebra 2 honors again, even if they do take a class like that over the summer, when it comes back, it doesn't get the GPA bump, and GPA means less than everyone thinks it does, but that's just something that like kind of is like a hint, like a wink wink. It's like, yeah, they call it algebra 2 honors, but we know it's not really anywhere near what we have here, so it doesn't come back with a bump. So
Okay.
that's just my little quick honors geometry is the only FCPS. Nope. So Sunny, so geometry honors is the only honors course offered over the summer. Everything else through Fairfax County is general on level, regular level.
Okay.
Yep, Spanish. Yep, you can take languages over the summer. So there's a I'll just put so there is a, give me 1 second. So this website here has all of the classes available. You'll see when you go there, when you go on that, there's a couple buttons you can push. One of them is credit recovery. So credit recovery is for students who aren't able to pass a course required for graduation during the school year. So they go to credit recovery over the summer and they can get that credit back. The ones you want to most likely look at are the online Canvas. It's the third button there. And then you'll go down. Another piece that we need to clarify is that online campus classes, there's usually 2 dates that you have to be in person, which is different than it was last year, but it's back to the way it was years ago. So you can't take world history or whatever a junior USVA history or English 11 over the summer from Barcelona. You have to be in person to come and take those midterms and finals in person. Unlike self-directed econ and personal finance, which you can do from wherever. That's self-directed. You just plug through these modules on Schoology. There's no teacher. It's pass fail. That you can do from Siberia. Doesn't matter. All right, cool question. Are there internship opportunities? So internships. Internships. Honestly, as a student, one of the best and easiest ways to get an internship, which is kind of the same as job shadowing, which is kind of the same as volunteering, is to Hey, Ashley is my homie. Hey, Ashley, your dad is an accountant and I really want to be an accountant. Ashley, can I shadow your dad for a couple weeks over the summer? Boom. That's probably the easy, it's not always easy, but that's going to be the it's going to be the easiest way to get into an internship or a job shadow. There are crazy resources that I will also, can I share my screen?
Yeah, you can, Greg, you're a co-host.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to do that. So there's a resource put together every year. Stop. Share screen, the one that's lit up in green. Basic screen 2. It looks good. Share. All right, so I'm going to go to Naviance. Y'all see this? Naviance?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, see it.
Cool. So I'm just going to pick some random students so I can get the student view so that you can know how to access this. So I'm going to view it as a student. So this is what your student will see when they log on to Naviance Student. When you scroll all the way down here, okay, this right here, this document resources. Ashley, thumbs up. Can you see this? Okay, cool. Document resources. Not a lot of folks take advantage of this. We tell them all, but they kind of forget about it. So you don't need to know. Academic common market is something that's really cool. If you can get in-state tuition at out-of-state colleges. If that out-of-state college has a program that nowhere in Virginia has, cool information. But if you go down here to internships, service and summer, there's a couple awesome resources here. First is this youth directory. So this is the Youth Service Opportunity Directory. This is a huge resource to find volunteer opportunities. And they break it down in several different ways. They break it down agencies by minimum age. They also break it down by mission. So if you are interested in helping the environment, Northern Virginia soil and water conservation, whatever, you click it, it brings you down to this page. All information you could ever want or need about this organization is there. Contact information, basic rundown of what this opportunity is, the mission statement of the organization, minimum age 13 for stream monitoring, none for drain labeling. If you want to label drains, these are people right here. So this is an awesome resource to volunteer. Oftentimes kids will find opportunities to volunteer for and then really love it. And then they almost kind of like become liaison for that organization in the school. They can recruit some of their friends. And then maybe they might even get like a title at this organization. So that's one way. It's not an internship, but it can become an opportunity that is just as meaningful as an internship. How do I get rid of this bar at the top?
You can drag and drop it.
Oh, look at that. Nice. Okay. All right, let's go back. So that's youth directory. Next up, this is a crazy resource here. It populates an Excel spreadsheet. This is compiled, has been compiled for years by I believe the Career Center specialist at TJ. So these are some of them incredibly competitive, some of them incredibly expensive opportunities for internships and programming enrichment opportunities that happen over the summer. This last one was 2020, but these all stay the same. So these links, when you click these links, you'll see the updated information for all of these. Now, if you scroll down, last I checked, yeah, there's 129 opportunities. Everywhere from VCU to the Department of Education to the Smithsonian to MITRE to Kettering, to Inova, to University of Mississippi. Again, some of these are, here we go, Earthwatch Institute, cost
Greg,
amount.
Greg, we're not seeing your spreadsheet. It might be on a different screen. Sorry.
All right. Let's try that again. Wow.
Sorry.
No, I'm glad you mentioned. I was going to keep running my mouth. See that?
Yep.
Okay, so this is a crazy resource. Again, a lot of what you see, the dates are for 2020, just because of the pandemic, this kind of paused for a year, but all these, the majority of these opportunities are still available with new deadlines. Again, everything from NIH to Smithsonian, you'll see some of these, like this guy right here, Fairfax County Government. Oh, that's Youth Leadership Program. Yep. You can earn money. Some of these at NYU cost 12 grand. So, you know, the other thing we want to make sure folks know is just because you spend 12K on a program at NYU doesn't mean you're going to get an NYU. So just kind of keep that in mind. This is a mass, it's almost like too much, this resource. But have your students go through this. Some of these that are minimum age, like you'll see 16 and up, you'll see 17, 16 by June 1st of this year. So just have your student go through this. Check out these websites. It's a crazy resource that you can certainly, you know, find a camp. Again, some of these are application only, some of these are really expensive. But look here, Centers for Disease Control, it's free. It's a 5-day and 2-day academic day camp in which campers take on the role of disease detectives and learn how the CDC safeguards the nation's health. Like, that sounds pretty cool to me. Again, none of this is going to get you into some crazy school, but it will help build, you know, your profile, your application for when you do apply to schools. And not a lot of kids do stuff like this. So I mentioned the summer class taking things earlier. Opportunities like this can be more meaningful to students than taking Algebra 2 honors through an online class through VCPE. Yeah. So those are the two resources I wanted to share about internships. Also, please keep your eyes on Laura Venice's Student Services newsletter. She's always got internship opportunities, volunteer opportunities, scholarship opportunities. It's a huge resource full of a lot of information, and she has a lot of resources as well when talking about internships. But as I mentioned first, best way to get an internship. Hey, Ashley, I really want to be an accountant. Your dad's an accountant. Hook me up.
Right, the networking piece is crucial.
Yes.
And so my quick question for you, Greg, do all students have a Naviance account?
Yes.
They do, right? Okay. And then the other question was, is there parent access to Naviance? So there is, right, or no?
You got to go on with most parents have access to their students' passwords and stuff. Sometimes I receive emails from a 9th grade student that is far too well written for a 9th grade student. So parents have access. If they don't share passwords with their kids, then no, they don't have access, and they have to have their student go through it with them. But it's cool to do together, because between that, there's always a question about, oh, where do I volunteer? I want to be in an honor society. I want to get hours. I want to, you know, give back to my community. That YSOD, the Youth Service Opportunity Directory that I went over first, is a fantastic resource.
And I'll just chime in to say that students can access Naviance via Schoology as well. There's a pass-through through that platform.
Okay, so we have 2 more questions. I think number 3, I'm going to share my screen quickly. Number 3, I think you answered already. Like, what should a rising junior be doing in the summer?
Yeah, I think it's far, me personally, and probably the rest of us here, kids need a break. Summer school, not summer school, but classes over the summer are crazy intense. So they say for a regular on-level FCPS course, they cover 2 weeks of curriculum in 1 day. So it's expected to take 7 to 8 hours a day for a month. So it's a lot. You might gain some more things by going over that list, volunteering at some cool places, checking out some of those enrichment opportunities. Excuse me, get a job, go work, you know, even if students don't need the money, it's good, valuable experiences come from working. What, if any, is the impact of the 2024 graduating class? So that's so brand new. College Board just released that information. College Board, we don't like them. Bottom line, it's very new. I guarantee you there's going to be guidance and information coming out from the county about this. We have PSAT and SAT days here. How this is going to impact that, I don't know. But I promise you, you're going to get a lot of information about anything having to do with the SAT or the PSAT or stuff from College Board will come out from the county. So like either Ashley or Monica mentioned before, just sign up for those News You Chooses and, you know, wade through those emails. It's funny, when I first started being a counselor, I said, oh man, how do I sent all these parents these emails, how do they not see them? How do they not see them? Then my daughter went to kindergarten, and it's just get bombarded with emails from everyone. I live in Loudoun County, so it's like Loudoun County PTSA, Loudoun County School Board, Loudoun County this and that and this. And now I'm like, oh, okay, this is why it's, you know, hard to stay on top of things from schools when you have kids. So I feel for you. However, keep your eyes out for Miss Venice's newsletters for sure, because they're information packed.
Okay, and you have 2 more questions pouring in. So we answered those questions that we had, and now we're going to take this moment to, we're going to answer more questions. However, if we could just stop the recording. So the bell is the perfect